Russian troops fighting in Sumy are in a difficult situation. In these circumstances, there are cases of their surrender to the Ukrainian side. This is also acknowledged by Russian bloggers. At present, Putin's army continues fighting in the Sumy region near Volfino and Oleksiivka. Meanwhile, Z channels are also reporting counterattacks by the Ukrainian Armed Forces near Bessalovka, Kondratovka, Yunakovka, Oleksiivka, and Novy Put. A Russian military correspondent associated with the northern group of forces writes about the dire situation of the Russian armed forces in the Yunakovka area. Russian military correspondent stated that units of the 22nd Motorized Rifle Regiment stationed near Yunakovka have been without water and food for 8 days. Ammunition shortages have also worsened. In this case, surrender considered the only option for Russian troops here. All this was caused by Ukrainian drones. The main reason is that Ukrainian drones have complete control over the enemy's ground communications, which is why the occupiers are forced to collect rainwater. The military correspondent also refuted claims by Russian media that Yunakovka is under the complete control of the Russian armed forces. The Z blogger asserts that the Russian military command in the Yunakovka area consists of recently graduated officers with no combat experience, prefers to remain in rear headquarters 20 kilometers from the line of contact, and refuses to evacuate wounded and dead soldiers. The war correspondent claimed that units of the 1,427th Motorized Rifle Regiment operating in Tetkino were amassing in preparation for an offensive on Rizovka, likely in conjunction with units of the 2nd GRU Special Forces Brigade. Units of the 56th Airborne Regiment are operating in the border areas of the Sumy region. Drone operators from the Anvar Special Forces Unit are carrying out strikes against Ukrainian troops near Malayivka and Velika Rybika. Russian units stationed in Sumy region are facing a surge in desertions, with at least 1/3 of soldiers in most company abandoning their posts amid devastating losses. The reports indicate that the Russian command is struggling to fill assault units due to the high rate of desertion in reserve formations. Each company is said to have lost at least 30 soldiers who fled their positions. Recall, Russia aimed to open up a new front line in Sumy Oblast in spring, seizing several villages in May and June and coming within 20 kilometers of the regional capital. President Volodymyr Zelenski announced that Ukrainian forces have completely thwarted Russia's Sumy offensive. Zelensky said that the Russian advance on Sumy Oblast had been stopped no deeper than 7 kilometers inside the Ukrainian border, adding that some ground had been regained around the village of Andriivka.
Egypt's top diplomat on Tuesday said that negotiations were underway in Sharm el-Sheikh aimed at reaching a deal on the first phase of U.S. President Donald Trump's plan to stop the war in Gaza. According to Associated Press, Foreign Minister Badr Abdelhadi said the main focus of the talks is establishing a ceasefire and the release of hostages and a number of Palestinian prisoners. Abdelhadi said the U.S. delegation will join the talks on Wednesday. He added the parties were also discussing maps showing areas to which Israeli forces will withdraw from in the first phase, which also includes full and unconditional delivery of humanitarian aid to Gaza through the United Nations. He stressed the negotiations aim at achieving a security mechanism that eventually leads to a complete withdrawal of Israeli forces from Gaza. Abdelhadi spoke at separate news conferences in Cairo with foreign ministers of Slovenia, the Netherlands, and Germany.
في مدينة شرم الشيخ في مدينة السلام مفاوضات بين الجانبين الإسرائيلي والفلسطيني للعمل على التوصل إلى اتفاق حول المرحلة الأولى من هذا الاتفاق من خلال العمل على إطلاق سراح الرهائن وعدد من الأسرى الفلسطينيين وإعادة انتشار القوات الإسرائيلية لتهيئة المناخ على الأرض لإتمام خطوة إطلاق سراح الرهائن.
It is time to end this ugly war. We have a good chance and we support Trump plan. We support all international endeavors to end this war, to protect civilians, to release hostages, to make urgent humanitarian assistance and continue with a two-state solution.
العمل على الاتفاق على خرائط لإعادة انتشار القوات الإسرائيلية تمهيدا للانسحاب من قطاع غزة، ونحن كلنا ثقة في قدرة الرئيس دونالد ترامب على تنفيذ هذه الخطة.
We had an open meeting. This is necessary to ensure that in the future the Gaza Strip and the West Bank are linked to maintain perspective on realizing the two-state solution. We agreed that we all need to be involved in the day after in Gaza, and we discussed how we can contribute collectively and constructively.
المباحثات يعني مستمرة في شرم الشيخ بين الوفد الإسرائيلي ووفد حماس وبمشاركة إقليمية، وغدا سينضم الجانب الأمريكي.